So as we are discussing now, after the experiment, that is what discharge tube experiment by Sir J.J. Thomson. What is the full name of J.J. Thomson? Anybody? Joseph John Thomson. Okay, it has been proved that atom is indivisible, but it is made up of three subatomic particles, or we can say smaller particles inside the atom. Who is that subatomic particles? Anyone? So which is called as electrons, protons, and as well as next one is called as neutrons. But is it all discovered by Mr. J.J. Thomson? No. So J.J. Thomson only discovered the electrons. So that is also, these electrons alone has been discovered by Mr. J.J. Thomson in 1897 during the detailed study of cathode rays. By the time you might be understand what do you mean by cathode rays, negative charge or positive charge. So cathode rays in his discharge tube experiment. Okay, so just for names I'm saying you, later I will say you, cathode rays means negative rays. That is what you have to remember it. So during this 1897, in his experiment, discharge tube experiment, he has been discovered when he is studying about cathode rays. Now, before going to in detail about this cathode rays, we must know about what is this discharge tube experiment. Because unless you understand what is this discharge tube, we cannot understand what is this experiment. So let me show what is this discharge tube, and later you will understand how it will be functioning and how Mr. J.J. Thomson has been conducted the experiment. So now you might be notice in our lab also, this is what exactly the picture called as discharge tube. Please all of you remember that. So discharge tube, so it is about 60 centimeter long, in which electric current can pass through the gases under very low pressure. What is discharge tube, everybody? It is the cylindrical glass tube about 60 centimeter long, where electric current can pass through gases under high pressure or low pressure. Harish? Under low pressure. So that is what is electric discharge tube. So please all of you write it, and that is one of the most important definition. Discharge tube. Do you remember that picture? What is discharge tube, everybody? So it is a cylindrical glass tube about 60 centimeter long, in which electric current can pass through gases under very low pressure. Clear, everybody? Mr. Gokul, Danishkar, Omar?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So anything having doubt?
Yes,
Now, if you notice it, that is what is discharge tube. Now, Mr. William Crookes, he's a British scientist actually. He is the one discovered that gases are ordinarily poor conductors of electricity. Even when we pass 10,000 volts is applied across its ends. Clear? So that is why we will say, even, I will remember during the lightning, class 9th, class 8th we will study lightning. When the charge is discharging between the clouds and the ground, in between somebody is there. Who is that? Anyone? Air. Yes or no? So air is a good conductor or bad conductor? Mitakshri? Yes, please. Air is a good conductor or bad conductor? Yes,
Good
please.
conductor.
It is a bad conductor. It's not the good conductor. Remember that. It is not a good conductor. Basically, air is the poor conductor because it is a what? Gas actually. Clear? It is a mixture of gases. Basically, gases are poor conductors of electricity. Clear? Even that is what his name called as William Crookes in the year of 1879. So he applied a potential difference of means that voltage 10,000 volts. At the 10,000 volts also, the charge is the electricity is going very very low. The poor they are very very poor conductors. They are not a good conductors. But gases are turns into good conductors are conducting electricity when we create pressure inside the discharge tube. It is reducing gradually. When the pressure is decreasing, slowly the gases will turns into what? They turns into what, Hari? They turns into good conductors of electricity. That is what they have been found. That is why when the gases are good conductors of electricity at high pressure or low pressure, everybody at low pressures. Okay. So when Mr. William Crook is passing the electricity across 10,000, 10,000, not 1,000, 10,000 potential difference. Okay. So gases are not conducting like in good conductors. They are very, very poor conductors. But whenever we are reducing the pressure inside this discharge tube, so that automatically they notice that gases are turns into a good conductors of electricity. So that is why we will say gases will conduct the electricity like they will turn into good conductors when we are creating very low pressure inside the discharge tube. That is what they have been founded. So this is what is discharge tube and as well as how they will conduct the electricity when we create the low pressure. Now let us study what is this discharge tube and what is the things present inside it. Now once again I will show you the picture and I will teach you. So remember that, and if you want, you can draw also. So this is what is discharge tube we can say, and these discharge tube, observe all of you, having a two ends. So as we all know, any kind of electricity you might be see in our home also, always will make two things. One is positive end, another one is negative end. Is it yes or no? If you buy a battery, if you buy a dry cell or whatever it is, one end it is having a positive, another end it is having a negative. Is it right or wrong, guys? Yes, please. Please respond. So this is what is discharge tube we are saying. The glass tube which has both the ends sealed. Okay, so you notice it here. There is no opening at this end, at this end. Now, two circular metal plates, that is what we will say electrodes. So you might be notice inside here also there and here also there. So that is what we used to call as electrodes. And these circular metal plates, one is we used to call as anode, another one we used to call as cathode. Can you tell me, even in electrolysis process, class 8 you will study. So which is anode and which is cathode?
Positive is
Yes. So which we are connecting to the positive node of the battery, we used to call as anode. Which we are connecting to the negative node of battery, we used to call as cathode. Is it yes or no, guys?
yes, sir.
Yes. So the same thing here also. So you can see two circular metal plates which we are called as anode and as well as cathode, which are present negatively and as well as positively charged, will be present inside this discharge tube. We will show that experiment also. You don't worry. Clear? I will show you that. So here will be present. This is what we used to call as anode. All of you please remember that. And here one more tube. Have you noticed that one circular plate here? Please, all of you. This is what we used to call as cathode. All of you remember that. What is this called as? Cathode. And what is this called as? Anode. Okay, guys. Yes, please.
Yes, sir.
So next, after that, next side tube fitted with the stopcock. You can notice it. So that is what we can notice. So stopcock, which is actually connected to the vacuum pump. That is what it will be down. You notice it here. So this is what we can say stopcock, where it will be connected to the vacuum pump, because we have to create the vacuum also, because to reduce the pressure. Vacuum pump, you know that in our home it will be having it. Yes, please. Please respond. That is what it is. Okay. So this is the pipe we used to call it as side pipe. Side pipe. So which has been connected with what? Everybody? Vacuum pump. So these are the names of the discharge tube. So what is the use of this vacuum pump? Anyone? What is the use of this vacuum pump? It will create what? It will create the low pressure or high pressure?
Low pressure.
It will create the low pressure inside. Why we need to create low pressure? Anyone? The reason I told you already. What is the reason?
Become the air conductor.
Because yes,
To
please.
make the air good conductor.
Yes, because not the air, gas. What is that?
Gas.
Gas. So please remember that. To make the gas turns into a good conductor of electricity, we are making that. Is it okay, guys? Clear? So next, if you notice it, a source of high voltage connected to the both electrodes means, have you noticed it here? We are making it one high voltage connection. So that is what we are creating, like 10,000 volts or big high voltage power supply we can make it. So that what it will gives you, it will make to pass the current. Is it okay, guys? Do you understand, all of you? Yes, please. So we will connect our high voltage current across these ends so that it will be conducting the electricity. So this is what is the things you have to remember. So the common examples of discharge tubes, if you want to take, if you'll go to hospitals and all, X-ray they will take. That the X-ray tube is the common discharge tube. Or you might be having a CFL bulbs. Do you remember CFL bulbs? Compact fluorescent lamps, we will say. Lamps. In our home, we are having CFL bulbs. Now we are using it. Compact fluorescent bulbs. White bulbs wise, like these rings will be there. Bulb, or else like a tube in the tube. Have you noticed that bulb will be like this? Mitakshay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that is what we used to call as discharge tubes. They will be like this only. So the same thing, we can say example. Or TV. How many of you watch the TV when it is in repairing? Backside you might be name called as picture tube. That is the most important one. Even class 8 I have taught you people. If the picture tube is damaged for the TV is useless. Do you remember that? So this picture tube and tube lights, electric tube lights, what we are using in our home, these all are examples of what? Discharge tubes. Okay, everything will be the same principle. So this is what about what is discharge tube. Anyone having anything doubt, you can ask. Clear, guys? All of you? Yes, we can create this experiment also in our lab, but the only problem is we need very, very high voltage. So when high potential difference is applied between positive and negative end, see here, positive anode and negative cathode. So that is also Mr. J.J. Thompson applied how much, guys? How much voltage? Potential difference, all of you. 10,000 volts. Okay. Do you know our household current? Anybody can tell me what is our Indian household potential difference? You might be seeing it. Nobody knows. Our Indian household current is 220 volts just a 220 volts. So, but this experiment, if you want to conduct it, how much we need, guys? Yes, please.
10,000 volts.
10,000 volts. So, when high potential difference was applied around 10,000 volts in discharge tube by Mr. J.J. Thomson under very low pressure or high pressure, guys? Under low pressure. Okay. Then high energy rays were produced which were negatively charged, and that is only called as cathode rays because they are coming from cathode and they are made up of electrons. So that experiment also I will teach you in the next class. So what is he has been found when he conducted across this positive and negative terminal with 10,000 volts, okay, at low pressure, he noticed that very high energy rays is producing at this cathode. High energy rays is coming from the cathode, and he has been found that it is only negative charge. That is why that negative charge, what we used to call, guys? What we used to call them? They used to call as electrons. And where they are coming from, Hari? He noticed that it is coming from where? It is coming from the cathode. So that is what he is called as. As they are coming from cathode, he called as, what is this rays called as? Anyone? Please respond.
Cathode rays.
Cathode rays. So that is why when he conducted this experiment at 10,000 volts, a very negatively charged high energy rays are coming. That is why he is called as cathode rays, as they are discharging from cathode rays, and he found that they are negatively charged. That is how Mr. J.J. Thomson made a discovery of a new subatomic particle called as electrons. Okay. Now, how this experiment is conducted by Mr. J.J. Thomson, tomorrow we will study, and also properties of cathode rays. What is this cathode rays? By this time you understand what is cathode rays. Anybody? Negatively charged one. What is cathode rays? Negatively charged particles. So tomorrow's class we people will study what is this experiment, how he has been conducted, virtual reality also I will show you. And after that, we will study what is the properties of cathode rays. So then only we will go discovery of protons and protons positive charge, which we used to call as anode rays. So with this, I will stop the today's class. Hope you are all clear. So whatever you learn, please draw the discharge tube also. Learn cathode, anode, this one, a side tube, vacuum pump, everything, so that you can remember it when you are studying about this. Okay. So this is all about it. Thank you all. We'll meet in tomorrow's class.
Thank you, sir.